Today's gospel is really a continuation of Luke's beatitudes. And as I was pondering this, going over it and over it and over it in my head, it became like one of those records that kept going in my head constantly. So I had to use a little bit of both last week's gospel and today's gospel in order to make it flow better for myself. And you'll see what I mean as I go on. So a major question of philosophy is, what is the goal of life, and what does everyone seek? The simple answer is, all people seek happiness. Some people translate it as blessedness. But in either case, two things are true. First, blessedness comes from the outside. We do not bless ourselves. Blessedness is a gift from God. It's undeserved. It's a surprise, it's a bonus, it's an effervescence of our life. And second, we do not seek happiness directly. We seek the other immediate objects, and sometimes they bring happiness. Happiness is not a destination, but a homecoming. Happiness just happens. But if blessedness is unscheduled, unplanned, unearned, it is more likely to come upon us in some situations than others. Happiness is more apt to follow some attitudes and actions of others. Just as we are likely to get wet in the rain outside than in the house, we are more likely to be blessed not in the superficial areas of life, but in the depths of human existence. Happiness is indefinable, but we know it when we feel it. It is a feeling of contentment, peace, and goodness. So it might seem strange that the heart of happiness lies in poverty, or more precisely, in the sense of poverty. A sense of poverty is not the same as real material poverty. But it's hard to have happiness without it. It is just as hard to get wet without water. No matter how much money you give away, if you have enough left over, or you know where you can get more, you do not have a sense of poverty. A sense of poverty depends not on money, but on us. We need to clearly separate what we are from what we have. We have to experience ourselves as different from our possessions. Once we experience ourselves as more than what we own or achieve, once we know that we are no one and nothing can take from us, then we are finally free to be happy. We can look at life in a fresh, a carefree way without being tied. And we are eager to share our blessed humanity with others. We are especially drawn to the poor, the oppressed, and for those who are at the mercy of misfortunes. We want to share somehow their pain, but we do not approach them as a benefactor, as a sympathizer, or even as a teacher. Instead, we endure that pain. We are not just sad for them, we mourn for them. We recognize ourselves in them as weak, vulnerable, suffering, insecure, frightened, weary, and doomed. And if we mourn well enough with them, we may be blessed and comforted. Once we accept our place within this human family, we may grow to love our fellows, even our enemies, but not until we develop a reverence for all life, have a meekness in the face of opposition, and we will not have true happiness. We will never love our enemy until we accept his situation or her position, understand that we are more alike than different. If we give every person their own space in our hearts, we may inherit the whole earth. When we live in peace with all people, we enjoy a certain purity of heart. Everything around us becomes clear and quiet. We see things as they are in the proper context. And on a very, very clear day, we can almost see God.